That's sometimes how it goes. I wanted to talk about the children issue because it's a fairly big issue for many people on earth. And obviously you can see that when we talk about children issues, we start to also see how we weren't brought up right as children. And that's also very helpful because that also helps you face where you've actually been injured from God's perspective. What is God's standard? And you can see, you can start to admit to yourself then, my own parents weren't living God's standard. So naturally there's going to be some results from that, you know. And quite often what we do as adults is we reason ourselves out of the pain of it by going, oh, but every parent was like that, or they didn't know what they were doing, and they were just young themselves, and I know what it's like because when I was, you know, when I had my first child, I didn't know what to do either. And we reason ourselves out of our own pain. And this is a very damaging thing to do for your own future because the pain is going to stay in you while you deny it. So it's going to finish up guiding your life in a very unconscious manner for many. You'll do things naturally that are unloving without even thinking they're unloving because of the feelings that are still within. So it's very important too that when we have the discussion about how to bring up children, that we also think about it ourselves as to how we were brought up as children and what we can now do to deal with the injuries we gathered from our uneducated parents. Right? This is something that is very helpful to do because then you could start reflecting and working through, I didn't see that as God's standard, and I didn't see that as God's standard, and I'm actually reasoning with myself to avoid the pain that I actually have, right? And this is what many of us end up doing. We reason with ourselves by even just saying, well, they didn't mean it, and they weren't purposeful, and they were mistaken, and all that's maybe true. All of it may be true, but at the end of the day, you still hurt from it, and that hurt is still in you. And if you want to progress to God's standard of love, you need to get rid of it, because if you don't get rid of that hurt, you will carry that hurt, and you will, through the prevention of that hurt, you will hurt others. You will sin towards others if you carry that hurt with you. So this is why we've got to be brave enough to face our own hurt, deal with it, work through it in a proactive manner, and get to the stage where we understand love better. That's the goal.